Hello, my name is Maria Fontanez. I am here to share my story of how I suffered from postpartum depression. I would like for you to actually share your story as well after I complete this, after you watch this video. Our email is aishanaraspbdawareness@gmail.com, or you can actually visit our website, aishanaraspbdawareness.org. We would like to show the world that postpartum depression occurs more than what they esteem. It's not just 11% of the population, but it is a lot more. My story starts when I was 16 years of age. It was when I first got married to my first boyfriend, and it was my first husband. I decided to marry the gentleman because back in the day, a woman was supposed to leave her home as a virgin and to do the correct things, which should be today, but that's not the same. We don't have the same beliefs that we did. I married the gentleman because I didn't want to shame my family. I came out pregnant before I decided to get married, and my mother actually had warned me not to marry him because she had seen signs that I was not aware of in my ignorance and my emotion of being married or having a boyfriend that actually was capable of coming to my mom and requesting such a thing. I was married 6 months after we were dating, and I'm sorry, it was 4 months after we were dating. After the marriage, 6 months later, is when I actually met the real face of this gentleman. He actually was drinking, hidden behind doors. I had not noticed. I don't know how. I guess it was just the fact that I was ignorant. We visited his mother one day, and he had been very rude to me during the whole day. And I was really mad and disappointed. And I told him about it, made him aware. And as an ignorant child, I started playing with the buttons on the car, and he got annoyed. And that is when it started. The first blow, I was slapped. And even though I was 6 months pregnant, I jumped from the vehicle and ran home, doing some shortcuts that he was not aware of, but I arrived home before he did. And that's when all hell broke loose. Just a fight between two adults. After that, it was easy for him just to come home drunk and think that he was my dad. And I had to defend myself in several situations. I thought that it would end there, but my uncle made me aware that the gentleman was actually in use of illicit drugs, and that's when I found out why it was getting worse. The beatings and the fights and so many situations that we went through. I had said it was enough at one point in time. He held my daughter hostage in the room where I had to call my mom with my cousin and tell her to please come by as quick as possible to help me get out of the house because he was fighting over $5 stupid. Once my mom arrived, the situation got worse. They started getting into a fight, and I was more traumatized than ever. This man was using drugs, was drinking, had hit my mother. And 1 month later, I found out that I was pregnant again by this beast, by this monster. This man had caused so much pain in my life. A creature was a human being, was in my womb. And I did so many things to try to avoid for this being to be born. I spoke with people. They had told me of so many different things that I could do. I took malt beverages that were really hot to see if that would work. I took pills. I even at one point in time used to hit my belly to see if I would lose the child. But this human being, wanted to be born. She was fighting for her life, and I wasn't making it any easier. When the time came that she was to be born, we both had a fever. We were diagnosed with some type of fever, but they couldn't figure out from where, who was the one who was causing it, if it was a baby or me. The doctor wanted me to push the baby at 8 centimeters because she started getting a heart murmur, like when the heart starts beating really fast. The doctor thought that the baby could die if I did not hurry up and push her out. And I was trying with all my heart, but it's like I didn't want the baby anyway. So I actually told the doctor to leave the room. And the nurse there was the one who actually helped me give birth to my daughter, even though I needed the doctor to come back in to open me because the baby was stuck. Once the baby was born, I had what at that time I did not know is mom and baby detachment. I didn't want the baby. I didn't want her beside me. She reminded me of everything horrible that had happened in that relationship. I had known that she was made when he was using drugs, and only God knew what was going to be of her, what kind of child she would be. And all this was my fault. So she was in ICU for 5 days. And those 5 days I didn't want to visit her. My mother went every single day to each visitation and took care of her. When it was time for her to come home, I told my mother to keep her. I did not want my baby. And she decided that she knew me better than I did. She told me, you try to put this persona where you are tough and strong and so mean and cold. She said, I know that once you look at this child one time, you will fall in love with her. And she did. She did know me better than I did because I did. As soon as I saw that little being in my hand, she was so tiny, so defenseless, so beautiful. I did fall in love with her. I did want her. And I promised to myself that I would love her forever and not care where she came from or who she came from. But at least at that moment in time, I had my mother to help me through that depressive moment. Some women don't have that opportunity, don't have their mothers, or don't have anyone to help them. I am here to help you, to help your friend, to help your sister, to help your daughter, any woman who is suffering from this postpartum depression. They say that sometimes it's a chemical imbalance that occurs in your brain, and that is why you go through situations that normally you wouldn't go through. I want to help you. Please join us in creating awareness all over the world that postpartum depression is not just something that someone invented or is a myth. It actually exists. It occurs. That baby was Aisha Neris. And I am so sorry that she went through postpartum depression and it caused her death. I don't want anyone else's child to be lost. I miss my daughter with all my heart, and I do not want you to go through the same. Call us, 407-205-7307. Email us at aishanerispppdawareness@gmail.com, or visit our website, aishanerispppdawareness.org.